document on FBAR, they want to make sure everything is in line. They might ask you for more documentation. Because what had happened in FBAR, some people filed some phony stuff and said, hey, let's do this, let's do this. And next thing you know, say, okay, who's this? Send me the documentation. Or tell me which bank in India, let me call them. Dangerous. Question?
So what's a closing statement?
A closing statement is FBAR. When you go in an offload voluntary disclosure,
Yes.
you're going to fill in all the forms,
Sure.
and they're going to issue a closing statement saying, okay, we've closed your case, we cannot open it again. Completely closed.
This is from 2014 because 2013 was on paper, right? It was,
So,
No. This is different. This is called an offshore voluntary disclosure. This OVDI. So if you have 5 bank accounts in India, you did not disclose, and now you say, I want to come in and disclose, correct? So I come in and disclose, and they'll look at your case, they'll sign off, but when you sign off, that's a closing statement. They're going to ask you for no more documentation, and then completely, they cannot reopen the case.
okay.
That's it.
Right.
so you do the FBAR documents.
Yes,
You comply with whatever is required.
right.
You don't hear anything from the IRS.
Now, is this past or current?
Past.
You're talking 5 years,
Yeah.
3 years,
Year.
or yearly?
2 years ago.
Take that back, take that back. Are you filing just the FBAR forms regularly, like you would normally do?
Mm-hmm.
Then not an issue.
Okay.
This is for an OVDI program coming forward for the past 5 years, 7 years. Collectively, you're coming in saying, listen, I made a mistake, I didn't file these returns, I'm going to come in. It's not a regular FBAR issue.
Yeah.
This
People
is,
who are compliant.
yes. If you just start complying, not an issue. This is for past, you're coming in for 5 years, 7 years. You had these hidden bank accounts, you know, if you had $10 million in Swiss bank accounts and you didn't report, that's where we are talking.
So are you supposed to be paying taxes for the last 5 years?
Sure, if you had interest. I'm going to come to that next, right? But it's never too late to comply, folks, remember that. But once they send you a notice, then you cannot go into offshore voluntary. Because now, you're treating the IRS like a fool. Right? They caught you, and now you say, oh, let me go into offshore voluntary. Not happening. They won't allow that. Okay? But you can come forward anytime. By the way, folks, they had 4 times you could come forward. And people have never educated us. But Thomas Abraham and Salish, I will make my commitment to GOPIO. I will come here every year and educate our community for free. Because I think there will be some danger down the road. And I know some of the latest and greatest stuff they are chasing. That is my commitment. And this, I'll give you 4 years they chased it. 2002 was the first offshore voluntary disclosure. Very few people came forward. 2007, 2009, 2011. Now you tell me, in 4 years, 4 times, and the law has been on the books since 1972. Not yesterday, not today. But let me tell you why they are chasing this. Let me give you background. No one tells you background, they're just telling you FBAR. They were looking for terrorism money. Nothing to do with all this rubbish. Anyone heard of Rajaratnam? Yeah. All heard? Yes. So what do you think was Rajaratnam? They were not worried about his. They were funding US Tamil Tigers. He was funding the Tamil Tigers. They said, oh. And they knew about this 5 years before they caught him. So what they did, they cast a wider net on him. So okay, we got this. We know we can nail him now. But let's not nail him now. We want to gather more information. Right? Let's track him for a few more years. They put 20 agents on him. 20. Tracked every one of his phone calls. And they said, oh, now it's time. Let's get in there. Right? So what do you think? The net is there. And poor Rajat Gupta, one mistake.
I know.
Right? Now, you spend your whole career with such a great track record. And one small slip, Martha Stewart, our friend here in Westport. Folks, don't underestimate the power all these people have. Don't underestimate. I'll be honest with you. And I come across clients, they tell me, Cecil, you know what, FBAR, easy. Close down your whole account, start new account. Oh, that's very good. Even I didn't know that. But you know what we forgot to say? The bank where you opened that account already sent the information to the IRS.
So do the Indian banks actually send statements to the IRS?
No, not Indian banks, US banks. Indian banks will come there, hold that thought. Now, US banks, what happened, they have the, US only has jurisdiction over US banks, not Indian banks. But it's your voluntary disclosure, right? It's up to you to disclose. So never too late to comply, let's put that.
What is the exemption amount for that?
10,000.
10,000.
Very good.
Yeah, so the rupee keeps depreciating, so it's like.
It's good,
It
right?
keeps going up.
So you're good, right? No, so your 10,000 is 10,000, so number will go up. Right? Here's what we want to do. So it's, for the government folks to understand it's easy money. Remember that. They don't have to work hard, right? All they have to prove is 4 things. That you had a foreign bank account. Foreign bank account. India, wherever, China, Singapore, whatever the hell you have. Second, you earn interest on that account. Correct? Third, you did not report that interest on Schedule B. Now that is a false return. So the burden of proof shifts to you. That's all they have to do. You know how much? Give me a gut. How much have they collected on FBAR? Let me know. Give me a ballpark.
500 million last year.
Anyone?
500 billion.
Billion.
Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely.
How much billion?
500 billion.
500 billion taxes or 500 billion?
I think that back.
Disclosure amount.
My mistake. 5 billion.
5 billion, sorry. 5
Yeah,
billion.
we made a mistake.
5 billion. Sorry, not 500 billion, sorry.
5 billion.
Yeah.
5 billion in FBAR money.
FBAR.
Penalties.
Penalties. 5 billion.
And most of us use Swiss banks, right?
Oh, whatever.
HSBC.
And now I'll tell you what has happened too. Okay, let's go forward. So burden shifts to taxpayer.
Sorry, Cecil, sorry, one question.
Go.
When you said 2014 banks will be reporting information to IRS, are you saying Indian banks will?
No. We're going to go there.
Okay.
US banks.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. New form, right? So that 92-221 is now a form called 1114. It's a new form. Don't fill the old form. Second, it has to be filed electronically. You cannot file manually. No more. Third, you want preparer information on there. Why do they want preparer information? Because too many preparers are clowns. They just fill this form, they don't know the form, they want to track the preparer. Why? Then they'll go across the preparer and see how many forms he filed or she filed, and then track them down that way. Folks, the IRS has become very smart, and in the internet age, you can find a lot of stuff, right? You just have to Google your name and see what crimes you've committed, right? Just Google your name, that's all. I was Googling one day, payroll tax delinquency. 70% Indian names showed up. Sad, folks, this is sad. It'll be a crisis one day for us. We don't need that. Then this is a new form, 1042S, but that is for the people who are issuing that. It's called FATCA, 30% withholding, but we'll come there. Question?
So are you going to send out this
Yes.
presentation
You'll have
to?
You'll have it.
Okay, thank you.
I have the email address.
Okay,
I
thank
will
you.
send it out, okay? Now, increased focus on foreign transactions. Folks, I encountered an auditor in New Jersey. And I'll tell you, they're getting really smart. And this is a white guy, right? Nothing against white people, don't get me wrong. He asked me, Cecil, right? Client sent 50,000 to India, and they claimed as a deduction on the tax return. He said, yeah, right? No, but they, for business expenses, outsourcing and this and that, whatever. I said, fine, what is it? And these are not my clients, some other clients. And so he was talking to me, he said, Cecil, you know, wire transfers in New Jersey. So now, any wire transfer above 10,000, they're tracking. So they asked the client, what did you spend this 50,000 for? So the client said, oh, with outsourcing, we have some people there who work for us. Great. Can you show us an invoice? Give us the name of the client and give us the information. What have they done for you? And give me the phone number. Right? So he gave one invoice. They made some dummy invoice, something they made up. The IRS agent actually called the number. And it was a mother who picked up and said, yeah, my son sent me all this money to buy the house. What do you think happened next? That is fraud. You heard the word fraud? That is fraud. That is downhill. Folks, let's not, every wire transfer above 10,000 is being tracked, just in case you don't know. So, next time you know, hey, we can get these people. They lay low because they want to see what else you're doing. So don't think you're fooling anyone, because they were tracking terrorism money, now they have expanded the wider net. Any transaction in New Jersey, I am so sure, mark my words, in the next 5 years, a lot of people are going to get into trouble. Because they don't understand, they don't know who's tracking their funds. Could be in trouble there, right? So you make it legitimate. So I tell everyone, documentation is key. Send the documentation, you tell me what you did in India, I'll send you a check, I'm good. I tell all my clients, no documentation, no deduction. Let's keep that in mind. No documentation, no deduction. And IRS will hold the same position. But folks, I want to alert you, They have become much smarter than they were 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago. Because today on the internet, they can find stuff like you can't believe. Okay, let me talk about SEC. You know, Twitter, all these young kids, they love Twitter, they love Facebook, right? Or they'll send a message to another kid or another person saying, hey, this stock is going wild, why don't you buy? But tomorrow something happens, that is insider trading. Just in case you don't know, because public doesn't have the information. Facebook bought another company, WhatsApp or something, 19 billion. So if people were trading on that, when the public did not know, that is insider trading. That was the Martha Stewart case. And there is date stamp, time stamp, second stamp. What's your message? You're leaving a digital footprint. Remember that. Digital footprint. In the good old days, at least phone, no one knew who the hell you were calling. In India, you know, you dial the number 5 times, you wouldn't get the person on the line. You get the wrong number, right? But today, folks, yeah, pretty dangerous. Okay, whistleblowers. Other things. Oh, bank secrecy laws. They are challenging a lot of countries. India, China, not signed on yet, but down the road I have a feeling they'll sign on. Okay, whistleblowers. Anyone heard of this rule, whistleblower rule? No one?
And they get 10%.
They get?
They get a 10% bounty.
Yes, yes, they get 30%. 30% of the amount they collect. So this guy from UBS, our friends right here down the street, correct? Collected $104 million as revenue. So how does it prevent me from saying, you know, Thomas Abraham is one of the richest guys, he's hiding some money in the Swiss bank account, correct? If I disclose and the IRS gets $100,000 from him, I make $30,000. So people are jealous in this world, folks, and our community is even worse than other people. I don't know, for some reason, right? I thought the Jews were bad, but we are even worse sometimes. I don't know. Chinese are even worse than us. I don't know. They like to complain about their own people. But folks, someone is going to report you. That person is living on that castle there. You should go and check it out. By luck, if they get more money, next thing you know, hey, how does it prevent some? And folks, 90% of the cases is from these 4 or 5 people. You know what are the sources? Ex-wife, friend, family friend, someone who really hated you, employee. 90% of the cases, they don't get a random call or someone passing your house calling the IRS. No, they don't. They get it from someone who's really bitter. So be nice to people no matter what you do. Just walk away saying, hey, even if I don't agree with you, just be nice to people. Yeah? Say thank you very much, appreciate it. I'm telling you, they will really go after you. So folks, even if you don't agree with the person, say, I love you, thank you very much, appreciate it, move on. Right? Don't be nasty, because one day you never know, someone will show up. All right, international tax, just few things for folks who are, you know, dividend repatriation is, if you have 2 companies, US company and Indian company, until you repatriate the dividends back to the US, it's not taxed. Until you repatriate the money back to the US, not taxed. So, GE and all the major companies, they keep their money in India and all foreign subs. That's a major tax planning tool.
Don't you have to pay taxes in India?
No, India you have to pay.
Okay.
But you don't pay US taxes till you repatriate. So let's say 20 years you don't repatriate the dividend. Money's in India, no US taxes. One of the major loopholes in tax law, international tax law.
That's only for corporates, though, right?
Corporate,
Sorry to interrupt.
corporate to corporate.
Yeah, but